I'm actually going to record this. So part A is asking us to mark the point with coordinates -2, 4 on the coordinate plane. We found -2, 4 is at point A. In your answer, you need to tell me that the point with coordinates -2, 4 is at point A. Then it also asks what quadrant is the point located. And we want to make sure we say that the point A is located in quadrant 2. Any questions on that one? So Nancy has to find the reflection of point A across the y-axis. What point is the reflection of point A across the y-axis, and what are the coordinates of the reflection? In which quadrant is the reflection? So if we look back at the graph, point A, and we want to reflect across the y-axis, so that would be here at point C, right? Yes, no? Yes. So the first thing we want to say in part B is, and we want this at, what font did we say? 24. Okay. Whoops. Doesn't like my font, Diane. Okay. Do I still know? 24. The reflection of point A across the y-axis is point C, right? What are the coordinates of the reflection? The coordinates of the reflection are, and we want to look back at that. I can actually see that the coordinates are going to be, if it's across y, then the x should change. So it should be 2, 4. Let's see if it is. Over 2, up 4, right? So part B, it's 2, 4, and it is in quadrant. What quadrant is that? The part C is in, or point C is in? Who can tell me what quadrant positive points are in? I'm not ignoring Israel. What quadrant is this right here? What's this quadrant? This is where C is. What is that? Soraya? Quadrant 1. Very good. Okay, so we have quadrant 1. So that's our answer so far. Did I answer everything? So part C says, Nancy has to find the reflection of point G across the x-axis. In the graph, which point is a reflection of G across the x-axis? What are the coordinates of the reflection, and in which quadrant is the reflection located? So part G, or point G we're looking at, and it's the x-axis, right? So we have point G right here, and that's in quadrant 4, and our point is +4, -2. I'm going to reflect across the, did it say x-axis? Yes? That's going to be point D, correct? Okay, so I want to go to C, move my font size to 24, and say the reflection of point G across the x-axis is point, what did we say it was? Point D, right? And that's going to be +4, +2. Is point D with the coordinates 4, 2. The point is in quadrant 1. Okay, we're going to stop with part C. Did I answer everything? Yes. Make sure, listen carefully. Make sure you save. And so for part D, how were the signs of the coordinates of point A and point C related? The y coordinates are both 4. They're both positive. And the x coordinates are the opposites of each other. One is 2 and the other is -2. And this is when we reflect across the y-axis. Okay, Nancy has to find the coordinates of the reflection of a point across the y-axis. How can she find the coordinates of the new point without graphing the point? Is there a rule she can apply to find it? So this is what we talked about, right? So if we're reflecting across the y-axis, Tiana, do you remember the rule you came up with? Okay, so let's start with that. If we are reflecting across the y-axis, does anybody remember the rule? Not ignoring. Jordan, do you remember it?
I think they all had to be the same.
So what stays the same when we're going across the y?
The numbers.
Which numbers? Oh, the numbers are going to stay the same. So we'll say that the numbers of the coordinates will stay the same. Tell me about the y's. If we're reflecting across the y, the y coordinate, what kind of, will they have the same signs or different signs? Will be the same. The x coordinates, tell me about those. Will be, Jackson, go ahead. The opposite of each other, right? So the numbers will be exactly the same, just like Jordan said. But when we're going across the y sign stays the same. The x are opposite of each other. They flip the sign, right? Okay, Samaria, sit still, please. And now you're on my video with me telling you to sit still. It's awesome. Are you happy about that?
Yes.
You are. How are the signs of the coordinates of point D and G related? So let's look at D and G. How are those signs related? So they're a reflection across which axis?
X.
The x-axis. So we're going to say, I'm going to say they are reflections. I hate when that font drops down. Okay. Oh my gosh. There. They are reflections across the x-axis, right? So their x coordinates are the same. And the y coordinates are what? Opposites. All right. Okay. Nancy has to find the reflection of a point across the x-axis. How can she find the new coordinates without graphing the point? Is there a rule that she can apply to find the new coordinates? Okay, so our rule for graphing across the x-axis, when graphing or when reflecting, let's do that. Reflecting across, if I could type, I'd be really happy. The x-axis, the x coordinates stay the same, and the y coordinates have what kind of signs? Opposite signs. Will that be clear? Remember, Jordan said that the numbers stay the same. We need to know that, but do you think this makes it clear that the numbers still stay the same? Should I say that? The numbers stay the same, but the signs change?
It's a part Z. We already did, it's part H, part I, part J.
We already did this. Wait, no.
Okay, let me hit pause now.